Hi and welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost, where you get to choose your 5-minute investment. I'm your host, Sam Hicks, and I'll be discussing topics under the headings of business development, marketing, photography, and much more. Welcome to the 5-Minute Business Boost. Are you ready to get your book out into the world but not sure where to start? Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or I'll just refer to them as KDP, and hopefully I won't mash that up, is a powerful and accessible program or platform that lets you publish both ebooks and print-on-demand paperbacks or hardcovers. They've got no upfront costs, no inventory, and no gatekeepers. Over the years, and recently, just last couple of weeks, I've been working with a few authors. Now, these guys and gals are an amazing range of creatives. Have you ever dreamed about writing a book? I'd love to, but there is a big but there considering I slaughter the English language. So I think that thought needs to calm the hell down and sit down. But I get a lot of pleasure out of helping authors and wannabe authors along with their dreams and supporting where I can. And this episode is about that. I think there's something romantic about the ideology of an author sitting down in a naturally lit office with a gentle breeze. You know, the curtains are sort of gently flapping in the background. But it is hard work. You need to show up every day. You need to wrestle with self-doubt and distraction and rewrites and scribble notes and all those things. And you really got to have the determination to persist through the quiet hours when inspiration is nowhere to be found. Now, it's my understanding, and this is only through dealing with authors, that writing is less about the waiting for the muse and more about the discipline to shape the words, one imperfect sentence at a time until the story finally reveals itself. But I think for me, the buzz I get from these authors is when they start glazing over and telling me about their characters and the story and how it's all coming together. And I think that's an exciting part from an outsider. Anywho, I digress. The biggest and I think the most similar challenge that I was getting from these clients, and indeed this has been happening for some time, was how to navigate Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, as it is somewhat overwhelming. So the dashboard within KDP has lots of different working components and options, as it should, for each stage, in order, I suppose, to cater for every different style of book, printed ebook, print on demand, etc. The left-hand side of the navigation has many stages, and it does feel a bit overwhelming for creatives for their first book. And here's a step-by-step guide within this episode to help you hopefully turn that manuscript into a published book. And plus why KDP, I think, is a game changer. But first, here are some assumptions. Number one, you actually are an author with a manuscript. So if you've got a finished manuscript, even if it's been printed, you can use the digital file, Word, PDF, etc., to upload to KDP. There's no need to rewrite or reformat unless you want to adjust the layout or design for Amazon specifications. Number two, you're an author that has printed copies already. So you've already gone through all of that. You've got, maybe 1,000 copies left, or you bought 60,000 copies. This is no problem because KDP's print-on-demand service is a separate distribution channel. Authors can continue selling their existing hard copies locally at events or through other retailers while also making their book available on Amazon for global reach. Now, if you fall into those categories, why would you consider KDP? Well, these I think are the top three. It's the expanded distribution because now you're going to reach a global audience without the need to manage shipping or inventory. There's no upfront costs. You only pay for books as they're ordered. Makes sense. And you've really got the opportunity for this dual sale channel, so to continue to make sales or benefit from Amazon's marketplace. So a win-win. So a quick checklist for authors with existing books. Number one, make sure you have the digital manuscript file, PDF preferred for print. You need to prepare a high-resolution cover file, and KDP has specific size requirements for this. Decide whether or not to use your own ISBN or KDP's free option. You need to be able to upload to KDP, set your pricing and start selling worldwide. Now, that is it in a nutshell. That's the simplistic, the most basic that you can get as far as the process. Okay. So as I said, this is an excellent next step for authors who've already finished that book, whether or not they've got printed copies or before. And it's expanding that reach, simplifying fulfillment, which takes a bloody load off your minds. And it's giving your clients, I suppose, more way to get books into their hands in a very easy way. So let's get cracking on the actual steps. So step number 1, you need to set up your KDP account. So you sign up using your own Amazon account, okay, so that it's all linked. You need to enter your tax and payment details so that you can get paid for every book sold. So this is when you need to, make sure you've got your ABN and all of those things. Number 2, prepare your book. So format your manuscript for ebook, which is EPUB, Docs or KPF, or print, PDF preferred, with proper margins and fonts. You need to make sure that you've got a cover that's designed that meets KDP's specification, and you can use their free cover creator tool or upload your own design. Now, ISBNs. So for print books, KDP can provide a free ISBN, or you can use your own. According to Google, that's that little acronym that we use and throw around, and it stands for International Standard Book Number, and it's really a unique, internationally recognised identifier for books, similar to a product number. And these little numbers are used by publishers, booksellers, libraries and other parties in the book industry to track and manage books. Really handy way of doing it. All right, number 3, upload and set your book. So you need to enter your book details, the title, the author name, that's you, description, keywords and categories, upload your files, manuscript and cover, and preview your book using KDP's online tool to make sure everything looks perfect, because once you hit the go button, people, it's gone. So step number 4, choosing publishing options. You need to set your price and royalties for ebooks. Now, this was true at the time of this, okay? This can change, okay? And like anything, one week it's how you do it and the next week it'll be slightly different. So another disclaimer thrown in there. Okay, so for ebooks, choose between 35 and 70% royalties, depending on price and distribution. For print, you'll earn 60% of the list price minus printing costs for Amazon sales, or 40% for expanded distribution. So you're going to have to make a few decisions there. You need to be able to select your print options. So for paperback or hardcovers, you'll need to choose trim size, paper type, and cover finish. So yeah, a couple of more decisions there, that trim size, the paper type and cover finish. You need to have a bit of a think about that. Number 5, or step 5, is publish and distribute. So once you've gone live, you've hit publish, your book will then be available on Amazon's global marketplaces. Print on demand. For print books, Amazon prints and ships copies in orders as they come in. No inventory or upfront costs. Step 6 is track sales and get paid. So you need to be able to monitor your sales and royalties in the KDP dashboard in real time. You can order author copies at printing events for sign-ins and direct sales. So that's another option. So you've already sold all the copies sitting in your back room in boxes and you've got an event coming up. You can actually order your own author copies. So that's a pretty cool deal. All right. So why choose Amazon? Okay. So when I got out there in the big wide world and said to AI, why would I choose Amazon? It came back with quite a few benefits. So I think for me, the biggest one is the no upfront cost. It gets you out there globally. You've got full control and you only print when ordered, especially for the hard copies, right? And, you've got some choice as far as the royalties go. And there's no risk of unsold stock. Print on demand means you only pay for the books that are actually sold. And you've got all that creative control. You set the price, you set the description, and you set the rights. Now, If you are still working through this and you sort of think, oh, God, this is doing my head in, Amazon does have a great support system for it. So they've got help articles and resources, they've got community forums, and they do live chat and call support. So this would give you real-time assistance. So if you hit a roadblock, you need to reach out to them, okay? So in wrapping up today's episode, in my humble opinion, Amazon KDP has revolutionised self-publishing, making it possible for anyone to share their story with the world. So whether you're a first-time author or a seasoned writer, this application or this platform gives you the tools, the reach and the support to publish on your terms. So you've got all that information, but you then want to be able to do a little bit of the marketing side. Well, hello, you've come to the right place. Tune in next week for part 2, and this is where I'm going to talk to you about how to use your website to boost book sales from Amazon KDP. So that's it for this week. Ready to take the next step? If you want more tips on digital business tools, tune into my next 5-Minute Business Boost podcast or sign up for the newsie. Cheerio until next time. Stay safe. Bye. Thanks for listening to the 5-Minute Business Boost. For more information, follow me on socials, sign up for my newsie, or check out my website to see how we can work together to reach your small business goals. Remember, anything is possible, especially in the northeast of Victoria. Until next time, cheerio.